What's going on, everyone? It's TV, and we're back in Roblox Islands, and today we're going to be making an auto flower farm. This is pretty cool because we just got this new item. It's called the Industrial Flower Picker, and this is what it looks like here. And it is much like a totem, so it's going to be able to do, within a radius, it's going to be able to do multiple flowers. I'm not sure what the distance is yet. We're going to try that out and test it, but it is an auto flower picker. Now, one thing I don't know, and we're going to find out shortly as well, is whether or not this can water, and it looks like there's water in it. We're going to try that out as well. But before I begin, if you could do me a solid and hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. So first thing what we need to do is we need to hook this up to some oil, and it looks like we have an oil deposit down here. We have a couple of them and they're pretty close to each other, which is perfect. So we only really need one at first, so we're gonna hook up our first one, and I've got a pump jack here already, so we're just gonna hook that up. We're gonna put it like right here, and I might as well hook this one up too. You only really need one for this, but we're just gonna hook up both of them, and then we're gonna have to power these in a little bit. But first, let's go and start setting up our flower field. Now, our flower field doesn't have to be up top. We can put it underneath my island because this is gonna be this is my shop, so we don't really need this to be like front and center. And because the oil pump's already down here, it'll be cleaner to keep it just on the same level. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretty much string this across, and you don't need a huge farm for this, especially depending on what colors you're gonna do. I'm gonna do the ones that are gonna be the hardest to get, like purple, because purple is obviously the most expensive one you can make. Let's turn off shadows because it's kind of dark. So one of the things I've been asking since they added nighttime to the game is if there's a way we can turn off the night cycle, because it's so hard to build sometimes when it gets really dark. Let me know in the comments below if that would help you too. All right, we're gonna power that one. We're gonna power this one. You know, one thing I haven't tried is powering this with petroleum. Like, imagine powering a pump jack with petroleum to get faster output. All right, so these are set up. They just need to be powered up. Let's go ahead and put some coal in there so they can start up. And so now what we need to do is we need to set up our farm. Now, a lot of people don't remember my colored blocks video where I showed you how to make various colors using flowers. If you haven't watched that video, definitely check it out in the link below. I have linked it in the description because this is going to be a really, really helpful tool for you to be able to know what to do for flowers. And we're going to need to refine this. So we need oil refineries because we can't use any of this oil without refining it. So we'll put input, output right here, right in front of it. Let's get our pipe. So like that. And then we'll have the output in a second. There we go. And then we need to power this as well. Okay, and so now what we need to do is we need to test to see how good this stuff works. So let's get our first flower picker out. I wish they had a radius, like some kind of like setup so we know how far these things work. But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna set this one right here, and we're gonna see how far these things reach. The pipe system's a little tedious still, so you kind of just have to work with it a bit. All right, so that is now functioning. So what I'm seeing so far is you have to put in the flower you wanted to have picked. So I am going to redo this because I just discovered something about these pickers that is actually very horrible, but makes a little bit of sense. So what we're gonna have to do in order to be able to auto farm this, we definitely need a conveyor system. So that is the first discovery. So let's go ahead and get a conveyor system because we have to still manually water these. As surprising as this sounds, we still have to manually water. I wish there was like an auto watering system. Sprinklers still don't work to my knowledge. So let's go and try it real quick. But to my knowledge, they still don't work, which is a big bummer considering it's technically supposed to be watering them. So I'll show you right now. So we just put a sprinkler next to that. You see they're not getting watered, which is just really disappointing. It's kind of broken because if we could use sprinkler systems, then this can be fully automated without having to ever touch it. So what happens is if I put this right here and it was powered and I put this green light hibiscus in it, what would happen is all of these would get picked up because it matches whatever's in here. So this is the selector of what you want to have picked up. So if you wanted it to pick up all the mundanes and throw them away for you, then you just have to put a mundane in there. So if I didn't want any like mundane hibiscus for any reason or mundane whatever, then you just put the mundanes in here and you can dump them. The other thing you could do is you could set it so that non-fertiles get picked up. So if I wanted all my pinks to go in the pink conveyor and chests, then I can route them. Or if I got whites, then I can route them to a different side. So let me go and I'm just going to simplify this a little bit because, you know, even though we planned on doing something else, we're going to go and take these out. And we're just going to do on a couple here, and then we're going to AFK that, and I'll show you how it works. You could always scale this to be bigger. I'm going to show you the small version. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use roses because I have so many roses. And before we do this, we're going to test the range real quick. I'll show you the range detection. We'll see how far it reaches. Let's pipe it over like that. Okay, so how this is going to work is we're going to see if it can reach this because this is obviously 3 blocks away. If it's like a totem, it's going to reach 3 away. So let's go ahead and select this blue one. So I'm going to put the blue in, and you can see it is powered, but it can't reach. Oh, see how it just took all the fertile blues. Let's see if it can reach the whites too. So let's go ahead and put a white in. So if I put a white in here instead, Oh, yeah, see, it just cleared all my whites. Wow, it reaches really far. Okay, so it reaches really, really far. That reached 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 away. That's a big radius. So it can reach 6 away. So that's interesting. Okay, so what that tells us is we can set up multiples of these because our combinations that are possible. We have mundanes, obviously, but we can get pinks and we can also make purples. So now that we know the range is 6, what we're going to do is we're going to stack this a little differently. So we're going to hook this up right here, and we're going to put 3 of them, just so it's easy for us to pipe. We're gonna put a junction, a couple of them. And what I would do is I would have one that does mundane, one that does pink, and one that does purple. So let's go ahead and set up a junction here. We'll just pipe that over. And then we'll set up a junction right here, which splits that. And this one will go this way. We'll just slide that over. All right, there's that one. And then we have one more to do. There we go. So we have all 3 of these all set up. And because we have a 6 radius, what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep these under our actual flower bed. There we go. And then we're gonna just put these above, just like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set up our flower bed here. So we'll have that one. And I'm just gonna set them up like this. And that way, what's gonna happen is this is already a filter for us. We don't have to use any filters. So we can do that. And depending on how many you're going to be doing, I mean, it is 10 minutes each cycle. So unless you're going to be like overnighting this for, you know, days and days and days, you don't really need more than just a couple input output chests. But if you need to, you can always kind of chain them like that. I don't think it's necessary. And then, so these are all powered and ready to go. And I could technically do a couple more right here. If I had more white roses, I don't have that many right now, but I'm going to do something like this. And that should still be 6 away. Yeah, this is still not very far away. So what I'm going to do now is I need to set up a way for me to water these automatically. So you can either set up a conveyor, or if you have a macro tool, even better, like something like Tiny Task. I'm going to use Tiny Task, but you can always set a conveyor that just has an auto clicker. And as you're, you know, kind of going through here, you can just kind of keep it auto clicking. I don't really like doing that because it's just kind of a pain. I'll just show you real quick. I'm not going to do this route because I have a better route, but I'll show you what I would do. So you'd basically do something like this. And then you go back this way. And then what you do, you get your auto clicker out and you just auto click. So there's a couple ways of doing it. I think because I have such a small farm right here, the easiest thing for me to do is macro this. So what I would do is I'd go head down like this. I'm going to give you an example. I use Tiny Task. I will link Tiny Task in the description below if you want to check it out. This is not a Tiny Task tutorial. What you're going to do is you're going to start recording and you're going to click on each of these and you're just going to loop that. So we're going to go ahead and start the recording. We're going to play it back afterwards. Now we're playing it back. So the nice thing about doing this is you're pretty much just constantly watering, and then you just got to wait the 10 minutes. And then obviously what we're doing now is we're waiting for the non-fertile flower or whatever we get so we can put them in the flower pickers for our filters because I don't have any flowers for that. So you can see it just goes through them. Now, if I was going to do a giant field, I would have to use conveyors. It'd just be so much faster. And obviously, if I was using conveyors, I would need a lot more of these auto flower pickers because these would have to be spread across the entire field. So in this case, we're not doing that. You can also go straight up. You can stack straight up. That'd be smart to go 6 blocks up and 6 blocks down. So under it. So because I'm assuming it's a radius. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to build another flower garden under here. So we're just waiting for this. And as soon as we get some flowers, I'm going to go ahead and set up our flower pickers. Now, I can see this being definitely worth it if there was a way to auto water. Currently, I would say this is kind of just not a complete factory because of the fact that we don't have a way to water these guys. But again, we do have sprinklers, so I don't think we really need anything else other than just having those working with flowers. All right, we got our mundanes, so we can at least get those. We also have some pink roses, so we can filter mundanes. I'm just going to take one of them. We're also going to take one of the pink roses so we can filter these. So let's go ahead and get our filter set up. So I'll put mundanes on the left side. So there's our mundane rose. You're going to see it's just going to clean it up. There it goes. Now, it didn't reach this side. That's interesting. It didn't reach this side. So that means this is 6 blocks away. So what we're probably going to want to do is move the edge ones over to the middle. And now we need one to filter our pinks. So let's get our pink roses. There we go. And we should be good on this now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replant those fertiles. You're going to see I just got some mundanes out. And those are going to pop out automatically. So these are going to get removed as well. See if it's going to hit that pink. It's not. Yep, it did. So it's working. It's just I have to auto water. So that means I got to redo my macro now. But I'm going to probably leave this overnight and see how much we can get. This is way easier though. Look at all these mundanes. And there's our pinks. Now, once we get some purples, we can put our purples in here. So we do need some purples. It just takes a little while longer to get those. So I'm going to go and rewater. So again, you can macro this if you want, or you can set up conveyors. I mean, even with a conveyor system, like you can do a conveyor system with macros as well. Just have a conveyor system that loops you. That way you can have a super long farm, because then when you fall, you can just respawn over here again and do it and repeat it. And your system will auto pick those flowers. That way, this could be your pink roses. This could be your purple roses. You can have blue over here. You can have black there, and you can just keep going. And that would be a great way to handle this. Now, the only problem that can occur, which is big unfortunate, it's just part of the game, which I wish they would solve for you, which is the growth of tall grass or rocks inside your flower field. That is a big unfortunate in that it will break this, right? That means, you know, you can end up with grass right here or something, like tall grass could grow right here, or rocks can grow here, which would block your efficiency of your flowers. So granted, in the morning, you can always just kind of cut those out. It's not going to be terrible. It's just a little bit of an unfortunate, because these things grow like pretty fast. Looks like this side, I forgot to take out the grass, so that doesn't happen. Let's get those out of here. Mundanes are going. So it looks like all we got were mundanes. So, you know, again, we're going to need some purple flowers to be able to make this work completely. But you can see it's not a bad setup here. You can see we got 19 mundanes already in here, 12 pink roses already. So we already got 12 pinks. That's really great. So we just need to auto this. I'm probably going to leave this overnight, just see how many pinks we can get. And like I said, we're not really going to need our own flower farm, but that's something that's definitely going to help us as we're trying to grow our stock as well, because initially we won't have any stock. And I get that question every now and then, is like, DB, how do I get stock? Like, how do I stock my shop if I don't have that much? And I will always tell you, just go grind for it first. You gotta stock your own stuff. And initially you might have to buy stock from players too. You can see I've got all these vending machines with sell. We can buy all this too. We don't have to immediately start selling stuff. We can just have them ready to go once we have stock. All right, so our shop is pretty much ready to go. You can see all the blocks are in. We just need to put our stock for selling. But you can see all of our lines are in. All of this stuff is ready to go. So now I just need to stock all these and price them all. But you can see it's working pretty well. I just need to auto farm this, and we got our flower picking farm. That's really cool. We need to make more of these. I think the obvious next step here, especially what I would recommend is I would highly recommend this setup first. And then what I would do from here is, if I were you, I would set up a light green hibiscus farm, because light green gives you so many different color options. So this is a really powerful combination here. So that'd be the next one I would recommend, is start working with these for your next color. And then after that, I would do a daffodil farm, because daffodils give you a lot of different colors. You know, if you're mixing yellows and red and yellow and such, you get some really great colors. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next vid.